Hello, my family. Humans have changed the shape of the Earth significantly and have had a major impact on it, both positive and negative. But imagine with me, what if all humans suddenly disappeared from the face of the Earth? Welcome to your channel, Unanswered Logic. This is a new episode all about what if all humans suddenly disappeared. In the early days after humans disappear, the Earth would fall into complete chaos. Within just a few hours, lights and electricity would start to shut down in many places. The reason is that most power plants run on fuel, and since there would be no humans to refuel them, these plants would eventually stop working. After about 48 hours, nuclear power plants would also switch to safety mode because the sudden drop in energy consumption would trigger emergency protocols. However, wind turbines would keep running for a longer time, continuing until the oils that keep them operating dry out and the turbines struggle to move. Similarly, solar power plants would gradually shut down as dust accumulates on the panels, and with no one to clean them, they would become ineffective. Eventually, almost all regions on Earth would lose electricity, except for areas that rely on hydroelectric power, like the High Dam in Egypt, where generators are powered by the flow of the Nile River. Such stations could continue working for months or even years without human intervention. Once the power goes out and farm fences fail, about 1.5 billion cows and 20 billion chickens would escape, searching for food. But without human care, most of them would die from hunger or fall prey to predators like wild cats and dogs. After about 10 days, pets trapped inside homes would start dying from hunger or thirst. Those that managed to escape would find themselves in a brutal fight for survival. In this wild, dangerous world, there would be no place for decorative breeds of cats and dogs, as stronger species would quickly wipe them out. Within a few weeks, only the toughest and most resilient species would survive. Now, imagine if you were the last human alive on Earth. What would you do in the middle of all this chaos? Would you be able to survive? Or would you give up and join those who disappeared? And if you tried to survive, where do you think would be the best place to live? Tell us in the comments what you would do. Back to the topic. Things would stay like this for about a month until the cooling water in the nuclear plants evaporates completely, leading to a series of nuclear explosions, similar to what could have happened at Fukushima in 2011. Millions of animals would die due to radiation. However, over time, the Earth would gradually clean itself from the radiation and start to flourish once again. About a year after the disappearance of humans, satellites orbiting the planet would begin falling like meteors. Within just 25 years, over 75% of cities and roads would be completely covered by grass and trees. With no human factories, the air would become clean and fresh once more, and visibility in previously crowded areas would improve significantly. Desert cities like Dubai, however, would be swallowed by sand. Within 300 years of the human disappearance, metal structures like the Eiffel Tower would begin to collapse due to rust, as no one would maintain them with anti-rust treatments. Steel would react with oxygen and slowly corrode, causing major buildings to crumble. Before that, though, many cities would have been wiped out by fires, especially in Europe and America, where suburban houses are often made of wood. A single lightning strike could be enough to burn an entire city to the ground. Over time, nature would reclaim the Earth, returning it to its original state before humans altered it. Thousands of species of animals and birds would return to their native habitats. Marine life, like whales, would also flourish again without human interference. Although balance would be restored to wildlife after a few hundred years, the geographical distribution of animals would remain permanently altered because of zoos, which had introduced species to environments far from their natural homes. After about 10,000 years, the only remnants of human civilization would be a few ancient stone structures, like the pyramids of Giza, the Great Wall of China, and ruins from ancient civilizations. Far into the future, millions of years later, the only traces left of humanity would be plastic products. This is because the chemical bonds in plastic and rubber are resistant to most bacterial enzymes and do not decay or rust easily. But eventually, even plastics would disappear, and Earth would return to the way it was before humans ever walked it. And here we've reached the end. We hope you found it informative, and more importantly, enjoyable. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so we can keep bringing you content you love. See you next time and have a great day.